Alright, multi-class from Spa Francorchamps, starting near the back of the GT4 field. I'm going to go gamble on basically a no fuel stop. Like, I've got a 5 liter.
You should hear my wheel right now.
I've got like a 5 liter
fucking
top
moving on
up.
its own. That's how much it's shaking.
I've got a 5 liter top up set there just to fluctuate fuel. There is a mandatory pit stop.
Just a word of advice to anyone behind me. I brake about 100 meters before everyone else, and yet I still can't stop the car. So watch out.
Martin's having problems with his brakes.
Good luck, have fun.
So, whoops.
Be patient.
I guess I can't pull up my pit stop preset.
A lot of time,
there.
60 minutes.
I was going to show you what I'm planning to do.
Be careful going through Eau Rouge, first lap.
Calculated it out to be like 102, and 2 liters of fuel will be like nothing, so I've got to set up for like 5 just to fine-tune it a little bit. See what happens. May not need any fuel, but we'll see. Using up 4 and change a lap. Waiting for somebody to join up. Once again, Juan Urena is the man to beat. He's way out ahead. Actually, I guess I'm 10th in GT4. It's not terrible. But it's not good either, though. This track is going to be very, very challenging. And the problem was I couldn't get very consistent reads on what was happening with the car, so I probably wasn't able to maximize even close the level of performance I could. Lost spot to Cole McRae at the start. Cole, that is an ugly car. I do not like... I mean, I don't like the Porsche in general, if we're being honest, but I really don't like that Porsche. And this is going to be an illegal lap. But I didn't want to cut back into Cole's lane there. Because I felt like I was picking up a little bit of speed over... I think the BMWs picked up a little bit of speed over the Porsches through Eau Rouge just on car changes.
Ooh.
And delay comb. Actually, it's saying I have 9 liters too many. I doubt that's the case. Because it is giving my last lap is like less than 1/10 of a liter. So, there is that. So, I don't think we have accurate fuel numbers right now. And behind me is actually one of the prototypes, Bertrand Barrier. I'm not going to fight him because that's a losing battle. Go ahead, my friend. Not sure what he was doing back there. Must have hit problems. Didn't see any problems ahead of me, but must have. Or maybe he was the late guy who didn't join. Who maybe didn't join the grid, and thus has to make his way through all the GT4 traffic. That is most unfortunate, if that is the case. Spa is always a challenge, but particularly in this car, it seems to be a challenge. There's just some parts where I just can't seem to get like a solid grip going on. And like I said, I couldn't really find like a consistent weakness to really attack with the setup. A little bit worried about how much I'm picking up on Cole in each braking zone. Whoa! Leave curtain! And his Lotus spins around. I'm not worried about, like, from a performance standpoint, I'm just worried about, like, maybe hitting him. Kind of like there! Oh. Sorry, Cole. Kind of cursed myself there. That'll probably be a penalty. Still not getting an accurate fuel read, which is problematic. So what do I do knowing that I'm sitting on a tier 2 penalty? We'll find out. Pray for carnage, I guess. Championship hopes in this series are pretty much kaput. Like, it was looking good after round 1, but that was with the idea that Juan Urena would be a guest driver or get promoted to Daytona Prototype.
Oh my God,
Neither of
come
those
on.
two things appear to be true. So,
Caleb ran into me as if I wasn't even there.
I mean, it's possible Caleb had high ping. Also, I don't really understand the whole, he ran into me like I wasn't there. Like, I almost think anytime you get run into, it feels like you weren't there, right? Up ahead of me, we have Sergio Mengual and James Butler squabbling. Butler didn't have a very good debut home race at Silverstone. Mengual is, of course, a potential championship challenger, although his internet connection is
Didn't
not
mean
the
to pitch
greatest.
you off there.
Nah, you're fine. I got you.
Juan Urena, fastest lap of a 31.3. Jesus, even with the full fuel load, or presumably a fairly full fuel load, he is putting up the times. 35.1 for me, which is within a second of what I qualified on, so. Here's hoping that the going heavy on fuel isn't costing me a tremendous amount of time, and that I can make up the gap in the shorter pit stop. Course, the most likely place to completely invalidate your lap, Eau Rouge. I'm having to lift off there a ton, and someone's probably chuckling at me watching this video right now because it looks bad. You should be able to do that a lot more flat than I'm able to, but I've never claimed to be a good driver. So there is that.
Jumping around on me a lot, Rich, so... Not that I'm going to hit you, but...
It's weird that Sean Kinney's having such connection problems. I think today is not his server, but with his internet connection, which is why we use him usually to host a server, I can't imagine why on earth he would be,
What's my ping, Sean?
160? 150?
Can't really imagine why he'd be having such ping problems. Aside from girlfriend using computer. That last lap actually used up more fuel than I expected. 4.1. It's within a tenth of what I was expecting to use, but still does give me some slight concerns about... Well, what am I talking about? I'm planning on taking some fuel at the pit stop just to make sure that things go right. I've got 5 liters to take on, is what I have it set for, and I'll adjust that to lower or higher as needed. Pondering just doing 2 tires on the stop though. Haven't done any long enough runs to really know what 60 minutes will do to these tires, so we'll see it about halfway and make that call. Making decent time. 36.4. Keep in mind, my fastest was only a 36.2 or a 34.2, and that was a 34.4. So even fully loaded with fuel, I'm doing okay pace, even if it is 3 seconds off the leader. But again, the ability to fight for the title if Juan Urena is actually going to be a full-time racer is, for almost anybody, is null and void. He is that much faster than everyone else. There's definitely a hierarchy going on. Maybe Zifo Duran. Tuxedo Duran might be able to take the fight to him. But with Tuxedo's internet, I kind of doubt it. Made a kind of pointless mistake there through Lake Holm. And cut the track. One of my rivals is Martin Hughes, who's up in 6th place there, fighting with Alexander Saluko. Surprised Saluko's back here. In practice, he was absolutely ripping it up. It makes me think that while everyone else was doing, like, relatively full fuel tests, he was doing qualifying tests, because the pace did not carry over into qualifying. Faster than me either way, but just a bit of an illusion that he had podium contention pace, maybe. Because he is unable to get away from Mr. Hughes. And the battle between Butler and Mengual. Checking back at my gap. Liam Curtin, 7+ seconds behind me. I've got 3.5 back to Javier Perez-Torres. I think I've got the pace advantage on Javi. He was also having some problems with his overlay. Keep that as legal as possible, please. Thank you. So that might throw him off just in general when the game's not working right for you. Guido de Palma is keeping Juan Urena somewhat honest. Which would be good. I mean, it's not good for my championship position, but if we can get some level of a fight going for the title, it'd be nice. Kind of this problem we've had this problem kind of in the other multi-class event we do, where there's just been one dominant racer. Now, fortunately, we've been blessed with his internet problems keeping the actual title tight, but when internet doesn't get in the way, he's just whipping up on everyone. Javi is closing on me, so that might be a problem. Of course, this is the part of the track where my heavy-ass fuel load may be hurting me the most. So we'll see what I can do over the rest of the lap. Goal right now is just to keep the lap time in the 34s if at all possible. Don't screw up. Mike Stopmill coming through. He is way out in front, but hey, this is Spa, and he won the ACC race here in an M6, so we know he flies. Really everywhere, but particularly at Spa. Maximilian Rossi around 7 seconds behind him. Here he comes. Oh, I really hope to not have to deal with too many prototypes in the lead up to Blachimont. The pace differential is just going to be huge. Richard Durocher, I'll give him plenty of room to the inside of Les Sources. Not able to keep with Mengual and Butler anymore.
Oh dear.
Losing ground to Perez-Torres, but I suspect some of that is traffic related. Caleb Gonzalez, Enrique Hervas.
I don't know about that one, Sean.
Sean
Yeah,
Kenny.
I mean, just damned no matter what I did there.
I know I have another prototype coming up behind me, but... Whoa!
Fuck.
Kind of maybe earned that one, I guess. I could have let him through on the camel straight, but... I just think I would have lost a ton of time. Like, it would have been just unusual behavior to slow down that much. I let a good chunk of prototypes through on the camel straight. Into Pouhon. It's another relatively easy spot to let someone through because the prototypes can cut that a lot tighter than the GTs can. And I'm not even... Well, the last name's Kobayashi, we'll go with that, but...
Thanks, Dan.
Fumihiro Kobayashi. I don't think I've raced with him before. And of course, this is gonna screw up all kinds of fuel numbers. So apparently I have too much fuel. I still don't know if I believe that. Mostly because I don't think I believe the 3.8 number that it's throwing up for my average fuel. So we'll see what it is at like halfway. 30 minutes left. And I'll formulate a guess based on that, I think, is how we're going to take it. Wayne Hutchison. My teammate in ACC and 3D. Or, well, was my teammate in 3D. Season's over now. I think I might wander into a new team next season just because he's very Mercedes guy, and I don't know, I feel like I want to wander to a new car. But the Mercedes is still definitely on the table. I mean, that might actually be the best way of going through it. Keep the car consistent. But I also want someone who's a little livelier as a teammate, I think. Wayne's not been as teamwork oriented as I kind of thought he would be, to be honest. Bertrand Barriere, who's been to the pits once already, apparently. Maybe that's why he was working his way through the field earlier. Or maybe that just means he started in the pits. I don't know. Not sure if the start in the pit shows as a pit stop. And it was very early when he came through the field, so... Like, what, lap 2? Was it even lap 1? Well, Liam Curtin has made up a ton of ground on me. Javier is no longer a real concern. For the time being. Might still be who I'm racing, though, effectively. Liam, I think, is probably a fair bit faster than me. And we saw he had a mishap early in the race. But no blue flags for a bit, so let's try and get some actual data for fuel calculations and pace. So apparently you can do an under 4 liter lap. 3.98 that last time around. But that was also, I think, with a liftoff to let a prototype through, so... I still think 4 liters is the magic number. There we go. Oh, good run through Bus Stop. And a new fastest lap. Or PB for the race, anyways. Curtin is not getting particularly closer, so that's good. Still has me in the green for fuel, but like you can see that like that lap did almost a 4.1 and it's still telling me 3.9 for average fuel per lap. I still don't buy it. Is the problem. I mean, watches at the end of the race, it turns out to be completely correct and I overfuel like hell, but I just don't think that that average lap figure that it's giving me is actually the average lap figure. Should be mentioned, I am getting one less lap than I predicted. I had 25 as the prediction, and it's giving me 24 right now, so the pace is not quite what I thought it would be, so that also could lead to my original fuel calculation being off. But we'll know in about a little under 10 minutes when we hit the halfway point and see what we got. I am admittedly thinking that there's not much, that it's probably a 4-tire change, in all likelihood. The wear is just kind of really close. And I've noticed that with this game, sometimes if you just change 2 tires, the wear differential can really add to a problem, even if all your tires are, quote, good. New PB coming up. Not as good through Bus Stop that time though. Curtin is 1.5 behind me now. Yeah, see there, 4.1 again. I think I'm gonna need some fuel. Not much, but like a little bit, to be safe. I mean, my calculation was actually like 100.4, so that puts me like a half liter short. But you always want to have that plus 1 lap in you. And I don't even necessarily, and like right now, if I trusted that number and I was plus 4.4, I'd be really happy. I just don't trust that number. Is the problem I keep coming back to. Either way, though, pit window, 23 minutes left, plenty of time. And I'm going to shove that to the back of my brain until we hit the halfway mark of the race. Then we'll have a semi-decent night. No, Javi's fallen way back. Which disappoints me because, like, with that 15-second gap to John Picha, like, that's not someone I'm fighting with. I don't really think I can catch Butler unless he makes a mistake, and I don't really see myself as actually long-term fighting with Curtin. As he is just historically a little bit faster than me, although with a little bit accident prone and a little bit of bad ping to kind of even the playing field just a bit. You can see it there, his car kind of shaking a little bit at over 200 ping. So you can kind of see why those two things would be true. Lift off, get back on the throttle. Too deep. Too deep. Yeah, that green number is going down constantly as they get more accurate readings on the fuel. Although I just said I was not going to bother with that until we hit the halfway point. So, bad mic! Oh, I'm surprised that was invalid. Honestly, not quite sure what the Eau Rouge track limits are, if we're being completely honest. Seems like the game doesn't always make up its mind, to be honest. Or maybe it's just that last time I was here it was an ACC, and maybe ACC has, like, more generous track limits. Could be it. It's kind of ironic that I raced this car in this game, and I find it is one of my least favorite in ACC, in the new GT4 package. Mike Stockmill going through again. I can probably let him through here. There we go. And if not, then I was going to say Pouhon, but, I mean, really, the pace difference between the prototypes and the GTs was going to make that just not a thing. He's up in front by about 12 seconds over Nicholas Ali. By the way, Leonard Burke was in the pits, so he's theoretically served his mandatory. Back there in 15th place, so he's not the whole 2 minutes behind. He's that minus a pit stop. Oh, this is not the ACC pit lane where you have to go all the way around, so I think he's still quite a ways behind. And I suspect the early pit stop might have been to do with damage. Oh. Not going deep this time. And to make matters worse, we got a prototype. Ollie and Rozzy through. Go deep on the brakes into the source. And try and hold it. I think he's got me, though. I'll kind of see it. Eau Rouge. Made it through. That was a white knuckle moment. Oh, we got traffic coming through. Maximilian Rossi and Caleb Gonzalez. Ooh, a little close there for Curtin. Oh, looks like Kobayashi might have given someone a tag. He feels bad about something. That's good. I mean, it's not good that he has something to feel bad about. Oh, there goes Leonard Burke. So, maybe it was Burke. Sean Kenny. I'm still trying to give Curtin a fight here. Just don't know if I can. That Lotus is kicking my ass in a straightaway, by the way. So, that's not good. Yellow flag, yellow flag, yellow flag.
Jeez.
Martin Hughes, I think. Oh, and that's that mistake. After you go off, the tires are useless. Tires still look good, so no need to rush the pit stop.
Where'd you go, Rich?
Another prototype coming through. Martin Edmond. No contact this time. That's good. And some good locations for overtaking as well as Kobayashi goes through as well. Here's where we hope that things get a little bit problematic for Curtin on the Blues. Oh, and then I screwed up La Source. It's not going to matter if that keeps happening. Kobayashi's being shown as behind me. That's interesting. Did he pit? Maybe he pitted. No, it's showing him 2 seconds behind me. There's no way he pitted. Mistake? Huh, okay. That's him through again. Looks like Martin Hughes hit the pits. We're approaching the halfway point here. I'm still, air quotes, in the good. 6 liters. Which might be true. Come on, go, 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 go. Enrique Hervas through. I still don't trust that number, though. Although 48 liters used. I mean, that does mean that that number is wrong, it should be mentioned. About 3 liters off. But that does mean that I have enough. I'm going to take a little top up at the pits just to get me to that 1 lap of extra. Just in case. So I'm going to take on 2 liters, basically. But, no real refueling to be done. I hate it when I just don't trust the, I just cannot trust the numbers I'm being provided with. Wayne Hutchison through. I mean, taking on like 2 liters is going to be a fraction of a second, so that's pretty fine. Ooh. Sorry, Barker.
No worries. This is fun. Can't control the bloody thing.
That was not me trying to overtake Barker, just one of the slight problems we have with this multi-class function is that the protos actually have a relatively long braking zone. And that means that at a hard braking turn like the bus stop, for example, the GTs actually can gang on
Thank
them.
you, Liam.
So that makes some of the blue flagging a little bit weird. Kind of position myself for an overtake on him just to keep from hitting him, really. There was no contact, but it did cause him to wobble. Still Curtin ahead of me. I've gained a little bit of ground on him, so maybe some blue flags helping out. Josiah, way too many of that car right there. Wayne Hutchison's running it, Caleb's running it, Josiah's running it. I think I saw somebody else new running it. Giordano's in it, I think, as well, who will be the next one up. We'll know shortly enough, I guess. So, I don't know. Be a little bit more... Pick some other cars, guys! I know the prototypes do... The Daytona prototypes don't have a lot of liveries, so that's definitely, you know, a massive part of the problem. Well, I am still having a little bit of a battle here with, I think it's Dan Bach that is also driving that car. I am having a little bit of a battle here with Liam Curtin, which is nice. It'll be interesting because I can see the other side of Liam's, the battle, because Liam puts his onboards up on YouTube as well. include a link to his. So he's in the pits. I am not going in the pits, although I probably will next lap. As the tires start to fall into the yellow, will be when I'm going to time my pit stop. That way I've gotten the maximum out of these tires possible before going in. I will hopefully not have to deal with that blue flag until after Eau Rouge, which I cut. Oh no, Dan Bach's in the Sun Truck, or that's John Barker, not Dan Bach. Interesting. Okay, Barker not even on my screen. It's been a bit weird. Some of the prototypes have not been really showing up. I'm actually only 10 seconds behind. Oh, there's Dan Bach. Let him through it. Melody. Tires should drop into yellow. Well, the fronts anyways. Quite shortly. See that the fuel is costing me about 2 seconds right now. Not really sure if I want to fine-tune that anymore. See where I come out in relation to Curtin. Or, Curtin's only 4 seconds behind me. So, Liam did not do his pit stop. Went in the pits, but has not cleared his pit stop. Interesting.
My engine sounds like a lawnmower.
Wonder what's up with that. He came out really quick, so like I don't think he even changed tires.
My tires sound like a tractor on the road. Although these are fresh, so they're not as bad.
This is of course weird because this is a second gear. There we go. Actually, I don't think there was any point in doing that, surprisingly enough. So I don't think I actually gained any time by taking it off. I think like 2 seconds is the time it takes them to just put the refueling hose on. Liam also in the pits. Came out behind Martin Hughes and ahead of Cole McRae. So lost out to Martin. That's not overly surprising. I was only ahead of him because of his tire issue, where he went up and picked up the Dittrus. Now I will say that did lose me a lot of ground to Cole McRae. Now that's concerning. Of course, the reason I'm ahead of Cole is I bumped him at La Source early in the race. But the gap I had to him... Oh, Martin's off again. So I'm out in 7th place. Butler up ahead of me, but he is not pitted if I'm not mistaken.
Inside Martin.
Let's see what we can do with the new tires and the lighter fuel load. Suppose we have 2 laps extra. I'm still not sure I believe that, but that would be 4 liters more than I actually want. But to be honest, the extra 2 seconds in the pits also kind of gets my mind a little bit easier, because I never can fully remember if you need to refuel for the mandatory. So just dumping in 2 liters for, you know, for an extra 2 seconds in the pits is kind of worth it for my conscience. I prefer how ACC does it with the box. So somebody's in the pits, presumably Butler. Looks like Mengual is too. Juan Urena looks like he's pitted and has maybe lapped me despite having pitted. So that's not great. I don't think I'm going to catch anyone that's in the pits right now, though. Brake early. Slide a little bit to leave room for Enrique Rivas. And indeed, Butler is out of the pits. More or less the same gap that I had before him. So that's nice. Curtin is fighting with Hughes and Cole in close proximity. Hopefully that slows them down enough to keep me up here. As much as I think that most of the guys ahead of me outside of Butler do still have to pit, I don't really think that
So Sean, you gained 6 seconds in 3 laps.
I'm in competition with them. My competition's all
Right
behind
at
me.
the outside of the pit, we were 4 seconds apart. Now 10 already.
Yeah, it's all about traffic.
All about traffic for the traffic too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Goes every way.
Just pointing out that, well, we blue flaggers can spoil your race. It can also spoil our race if you catch us in the wrong spots. Kind of have seen that actually with a couple laps where I was like competing with some people that were faster than me and I was able to gain ground on them. And that was
I'm pretty sure 90%
largely
of my laps are going to be invalid.
I hear that.
If not higher.
I think I'm doing pretty good this track. Last track I was horrid. A lot of mine are just because of traffic, trying to get the wide berth.
people complaining and blaming other people for the laps. Get around us without... I was kind of thinking I'd open that up, but like I don't really know what Josiah was doing there, so... I will give up on the legal lap. Right when I was having a spiel about like legal laps. So 3 minutes until the pit window closes. I just took a glance over at my recording screen and most of the people had pitted by the looks of it, so... Doesn't look like there's anyone that's going to eat the big penalty.
I think the timing's a little weird though too, Martin.
No, it was about 11 seconds, almost 12. Now it's going back down to 10.5, 10.8.
Marcelo Giordano goes through. So, case in point, was not a great lap. Catching up with Javi. Javi's had a rough one, it looks like. To be... Oh, he's moving slow. He's moving slow. Damage, Javi?
Yeah.
Yeah, I smacked him pretty good.
I don't want to quit though. Let me know if I'm a hazard though.
Nah, but just wondered.
Do you have hazard lights?
You're fine. Just bring it home and grab the points you can.
Alright.
Although, given your position, you could probably pit and not lose any spots.
It's engine
Too late
damage.
now.
We can fix it.
Slide myself wide there to let Block through. Probably didn't need to. Probably could have kept that lap valid, actually. Although, in these multi-class races, while I was kind of talking shit about Sean, there is a high level of illegal laps. Because there's a lot of blue flagging. With a 20-second a lap differential between these cars. The, like a good lap for the Protos is like 2 minutes 10, 2 minutes 15. And it's, you know, 2:30 for us. Doing this again to Barker. Oh. And it's gonna cost me. Liam Curtin's up on me. Gotta leave him room on the outside. And hope I can cut LaSource really tight. The yellow flag also helps me out. That was an overtake under yellow, I think. So that's... I'll have to look back at the replay, or at the recording, of course. But that is something we're trying to discourage. He should give me that position back, I think. Looks like he's kind of trying to, actually. Although he's not lifting up enough. I think that might just be a defensive line he's taking. I'll have to go back and look at it if I'm going to make a big deal about it, but I will report that if it turns out to be the case, because I've always said it. We need to obey flag rules way more than we do in sim racing, I think, in general. We don't use full flag rules on Race Room because its application of yellows is sometimes wrong, for lack of a better term. And it also sometimes hands out some odd penalties for blue flags. So we don't want to over penalize it, so we kind of let people self-police it. But the nice thing about recording your onboard is you have significant evidence to bring to the table. And I do think Liam, despite the fact that he's going to, I think, beat me every time his internet holds out, because he is that fast, is a championship rival just because his internet will often not make it. And those will be chances for me to make up, you know, considerably big points. And I don't think there's a lot of cars he could put between me and him on a regular basis. So it is both punitive and just as a general point, I really would like to see flag rules obeyed a lot more. I don't think Liam's in the chat. He usually isn't. I'm looking for his icon just while we're on the straightaway here. Not seeing it. I was gonna say I would give him a shout out on voice comms and be like, dude, I think you overtook me under yellows, and you could, you know, give the spot back and like no report. But I don't think that's gonna be an option as I invalidate the lap at Eau Rouge again, cause I'm an idiot and was talking during Eau Rouge. Still on his tail, though. battle for 7th. Hughes is way behind, so problems for him and McRae. And Caleb has not pitted, apparently. I thought the window was closed. And it is. So Caleb will be getting himself a nice and spicy penalty at the end of the race. Big old time penalty, something like, I think, 2 minutes. For not serving his mandatory pit stop. Hopefully he's the only one. I don't want to see so many. I mean, as much as I'd love a pit stop penalty to, you know, benefit me once in a while, which that one doesn't. It's still not something I want to see everyone get. Makes us look like a bunch of dirty, dirty drivers. Which, for the most part, we're not. Innocent mistakes happen. It's racing. Shit happens, whether it's in real life or sim. Oh, both of us kind of got the braking wrong there. Haven't found a great brake marker for that. Oh, Caleb's in now,
inside, Martin.
but I think the window's closed. I think it's too late, Caleb. That's actually the worst thing he could have done. Pitting after the window closes is, I mean, now you're just pit stopping for no reason.
On your right, Cole.
God. Oh, another off. Damn it. Screw you, Eau Rouge. I'm giving the finger to Eau Rouge at this point. Still wondering what the hell that first pit stop from Liam was, because it was so short. Like, he came out, like, what, 4 seconds behind me after pitting? It was weird. Maybe he had a drive-through that I was unaware of. Possible, I guess. Oh, another Kobayashi apology. I'm going to start calling him Kobayashi Maru. The no-win scenario. Juan Urena, 230.8. I believe that was faster than what he did for pole time. Which makes a lot of sense. We have good tires right now, and we're pretty low on fuel. Actually, that still doesn't make any sense, because I would have thought he would run still less than the fuel I have on
your
board.
right, Martin.
Maybe he's got less fuel on board, I don't know. Here comes... That is not Richard DeRoche, that is Caleb. Who may have put himself in a really bad spot taking that pit stop. I don't know. We'll find out. Either way, he did me a favor by getting Liam a little off balance. See if I got a run. Oh. Go wide not to hit him. I'm not going to take advantage of that, though. I'll stay behind her for the bus stop. Didn't intend to use that as like a cheat, but that definitely carried way more speed through Blachimont than otherwise would have been possible. And since, you know, I'm thinking maybe of reporting Liam for overtaking under yellows, I'm hardly going to, like, go way off the track and cheat that way to get past him. That would be very unsporting. That may cost me 7th place, though, because that was probably my best chance. He had made a mistake. I had a pretty good lap otherwise. I mean, 34.2. It's pretty solid. Actually, would have been my fastest lap of the race and of the day. Felt like I might have had a shot there, but no. I'm, of course, myself probably facing a penalty for the Cole McRae hit. we'll see if Cole reports that, and we'll see if I self-report it. Depends. Whoa! I think that was just lag showing itself. But I got the pressure on Liam now. I'm tempted to not self-report myself for anything anymore, just on a general note, because I think people are letting people get away with like some really low standard driving, I'm finding. And just like as a general note, self-reporting myself. Now, if I do something terrible, I'll still do it. Kobayashi coming through. Kobayashi Maru! But I was having a discussion with for the Automobilista series about a driver maybe not being allowed to participate because of his driving behavior, and it's a driver that people don't report because he's low down in the standings. Like, his problem is simple. He's got to work on his skills. He needs practice and other things.
Sorry.
You know, to make things happen. Oh. Go, Liam, go.
Inside jobby.
There we go. I'm surprised at how much ground I gained on him there. That ruined a perfectly good lap, too. That'll probably be my last chance there. He'll be within grounds to report me on that one.
On your left, Javi.
And another chance at 6th place down the drain, or 7th place down the drain. I mean, given that I was really expecting very little from this race, I did not have a good qualifying. Taking home this 8th place is not honestly that disappointing. We got like 2 laps to go, maybe 3. Just depending on where the leader is and all that jazz. I might get Curtin yet. Who knows? Maybe I broke him. Or maybe the ping will get him because he is... You can see his car kind of flicking sideways as the server tries to make up its mind where he is sometimes. Blue flag out again. Dan Bach coming through. You'll have to thread the needle a little bit between me and Javi. Javi, of course, carrying engine damage, but still running like a good trooper. Really, that was a track cut? I don't know. I don't think so. Deep in the bus stop again. I still have not got a good grip on the bus stop. Everywhere else, I think I have a reasonable flow through, even if I'm not necessarily. Yeah, I'm gonna have a fair bit of extra fuel, I think. 2 more laps. It's only going to be around like 4 liters, though. Let's try and hold it legal for the remaining 2. Thank you. Only got to go through Eau Rouge once more. Maybe. Yeah, probably. De Palma's like, De Palma's gonna get to the checkered flag, I think, before. Mind you, I'm not sure. Is the class leader that determines it, or will it be Mike Stopmill, who I have?
Thanks, Harvey.
Who is just behind me. And might not actually get to the checkered flag for another lap. So, we'll see. Game does, or the web hub does think I have another lap after this. Let's hope so. Because I might still have a shot at Liam Curtin. Oh, might have a 2:33 here finally. So, moral victory. If I can keep it legal through Blachimont and Bus Stop. Mostly Blachimont is the question, thank you. Don't generally invalidate laps into Bus Stop. I just ruined them. And that will be the last lap. So 8th place, facing 2 possible penalties for rear-ending Cole McRae and rear-ending Liam Curtin. We'll see what they think. Liam I might cut a deal with to not report the yellow flag if he doesn't report me. But I don't know. I'm fairly. I'm not happy with the 2 contacts, but I'm fairly happy with the overall result here. I think that it was good. I think that 8th place is reasonable, even if it's my worst result of the 3 races this season. Had a 5th and a 3rd in the first 2. 8th here. It's going to place me outside looking in championship-wise. I think it was in 3rd place. Certainly will drop from that. But, I don't know. I think there's some good battles to be had yet. And need to prepare for this more. Been doing a lot of ACC lately with the new toys out, basically, and also doing the guide videos and all kinds of other stuff. Pondering things for the Wednesday series and also for the Sunday series. So that's kept me busy. So there is that. So there has been that, and it's taken away from my probably the due diligence that I should be doing here. Juan Urena won, so hats off to him. Still don't think he should be in this division. Guido De Palma, Tony Santa Clara, Tuxedo Duran, Sergio Mengual, and James Butler will be the other cars that beat me. And let's have a look at the overall results.
I'll just apologize to everyone I was anywhere near.
There's that time penalty for Caleb. He did miss the window.
How you doing, Hobby? Sorry for ruining your race there.
No worries.
I don't like how I'm shown as a lap down when I wasn't a lap down, but oh well. I mean, such is the end.
Yeah, I was chasing Kobayashi.
Race time.
Way out, and I'm watching him, and then you were right in the middle. I thought I could slip around you, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, just Eau Rouge is not the place to do it.